You know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
We are here back again, those Weekend Golf Guys, John Ashton and Jeff Smith, together at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek.
Come to the land of Otter Creek and bunkers.
Yes,
bunkers.
I love this course, man. And they change those bunkers. You know, if I go out there on the tee and I say, Jeff, my average drive is now 20 yards longer than it was last year, the bunkers will be 20 yards further from the tee than they were last year. They do it for me, man. They're movable. I don't know how they managed to do that.
They just move the tees. It's just those long strip tees. You can't tell where they are.
Well, it's Robert Trent Jones. I think most golf architects of the old school kind of sit there and go, okay, well, let's see. The white tees, the average drive is going to be about 220 to 230, right? So let's put a bunker at 225, just for grins and giggles.
Yeah. Let's just make 90% of the people play this golf course sweat.
That's right.
On every stinking tee shot. As a matter of fact, we're leaving the tee markers there, too.
That's it. Maybe you should just learn to hit it farther.
Yeah. But if you start to hit it farther, you know what they do?
They move the
tees back.
Which I guess is easier than moving the bunkers.
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
It's a little quicker.
Hey, I brought a gift.
I saw that.
We've been given a piece of gear to what's the word I'm looking for? To analyze, figure out, and opine upon.
I like the fact that you called it a piece of gear. It's a Renegear.
It's a Renegear, or is it Renegar? Renegear?
Renegar. Yeah. Renegar.
Anyhow, it's a small. You could officially call it a boutique wedge company. Out of Nashville, Tennessee. What is up with Nashville becoming like the hotbed of boutique golf manufacturers, man? A couple weeks ago, we had Jim Grunberg with Seymour Putters, which is out of Nashville, and now we're talking about Renegar wedges, which are out of Nashville. They sent us a 52-degree gap wedge.
They did, yeah.
And you've been in here in the golf cave just swinging away.
And I've hit it, and it's solid. I really like it. I'm a big wedge guy, because I know that I'll use all my wedges, or have an opportunity to use all my wedges pretty much every hole. Yes, folks, that means I'm not hitting a lot of greens these days. Things look pretty good on one day, and any other given day, I'm going to be using a lot of these things.
See,
so I'm a big fan of wedges.
Even the pros have the same type of stuff that we do out there. That's
right.
Good to know.
On any given day, I'm going to have a lot of shots around the greens.
Yeah.
And so I'm very interested in the short game tools. And the first thing I notice about this Renegar wedge is that they have taken a nice little slice out of the back edge of the sole plate, and they've changed the bounce angle on it. They've reduced it, and they've took this thing out, and what I notice is the slice that they've taken away from the bottom of it makes this club set up perfectly square every time. It doesn't roll open. A lot of clubs, John, when you set them down and you just kind of take your hands off just a little bit, a lot of them will roll so the toe goes out to the right. Then you have to square it again, and then it's just kind of harder to deal with. But this one soles itself perfectly, so you can adjust your grip and make sure you get it on there. And I think it's going to help a lot of people hit absolutely straighter wedges because it squares itself, and that's important.
That's cool, because a lot of times, this happens in foursomes I play in, no matter who I'm playing with, but a lot of times you'll see somebody get real close with their wedge, and they'll set up, and it goes far right of where they thought, and their reaction is, how'd that happen?
They didn't know where the heck their wedge was pointed.
Yeah.
You might have been describing those ones that they call them, neck shots or something like that.
Oh, no, we don't do any of those.
No, you might have been describing that, but I know that your intent was really to just say, these people don't know where the heck their club face is pointed. But I did hit some shots with it as it sold itself square, and then as I opened up the face a little bit and intentionally rolled it open to hit some shots to use more of the bounce, I found it to sole itself very nicely at that spot too, and they both the shots feel very good. I see a couple of the marks that I've got in the middle of the face on this club, and I couldn't even tell that I hit it. It was that good of a feel. I'm not using range balls. I'm sure we'll feel those. In the Pro V1s that I've got here in the studio, they came off the club feeling very soft.
Notice how he just made it sound like he was extolling the virtues of the wedge by pointing out the fact that he hit it right in the center of the face every time.
Well, I could try to hit it off the toe and see what you'll feel like. But
all right, well let's get the Renegade guys on the line. We'll get them hooked up, and we'll see if they indeed designed it to do those things that you saw it do, or they go, oh really? It does that? That's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll include that in the literature next time.
That's right.
We are those weekend golf guys.
But
I don't know if that says 6 or 8.
Well, while you're figuring that out, I want to make sure that everybody's got our app. They're free downloads on iOS or Android, and you can listen to us wherever, whenever, because we're storing a few shows on there for your enjoyment. So make sure everybody goes to their store and go get an app.
That's the kind of guys we are.
Yeah.
And
it's free.
I hate it when you have to say store, because people go, store, I don't want to buy anything, but it's free. It is absolutely free. We don't even carry a whole lot of advertising like a lot of free apps do. There's no in-app purchases like a lot of apps do. Don't worry about it. It is free now. It's free tomorrow. It'll be free forever. There you go.
Yeah, and nobody's paying for it except us.
Yeah, and we're doing it because
we like our listeners, and
also because we get an ego stroke out of saying, "Hey, download our free app."
Yeah. You know what? They can listen to us online too. They can go to thoseweekendgolfguys.com and they can listen to it for free there too.
They can. You can listen to us for free, and you're listening to us for free on the radio too. That's how it goes. But anywhere, anytime you want to listen, if the time we're on in your town is not convenient, then download the app and you can listen on your schedule, not ours. So we've added a blog to the website because we get a lot of golf news, and on our current website, there's not a whole lot of places to put it. And to be perfectly honest with you, the golf news is not the kind of thing, it's not, this just in.
Right, a ticker.
Yeah.
The electronic ticker.
But a lot of interesting stuff happens in the golf business every week. So we've been looking for a place to do it. So we're just going to have a blog. You can just go and you can say, okay, this happened, that happened, that happened. And if you want to read the story for something that really interests you, the whole story will be there. And if not, then just move on to the next one. ThoseWeekendGolfGuys.com. There'll be a new tab up there that you haven't noticed before that says BLOG blog. And in fact, let's go post something right now. We'll be right back. Don't you move. We are Those Weekend Golf Guys. Powered by Golf Talk America, by the way.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobetes, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobetes isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobetes now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save a up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-4030. That's 1-800-616-4030. Again, 1-800-616-4030. Call now.
It has been a wait. A week always seems to be so long when you're waiting for those weekend golf guys, but we are here. John Ashton in studio. Jeff Smith will be in and out with us today because he is at the Indiana Section PGA meeting, so he really can't say, hey, I've got something more important to do than you guys, because there is nothing more important than the PGA. Ask anybody who runs the PGA, but I digress, which we do often around here, Brandon, because we do it so well. Brandon Stooksbury from Macon, Georgia, is with us on the line. Also a PGA member in good standing, which is why he didn't dare chuckle when I just said something about the PGA in a negative light. Brandon, how are you, sir? Thanks for joining us here on those weekend golf guys. What's going on with you, man?
Can I chuckle now without being held accountable?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I'm doing great, man. How are you this morning?
Now, you are not only a PGA member in good standing, golf pro extraordinaire, teacher extraordinaire, but now you get to add best-selling author to your resume. And
I do. As of this morning, I got the news. Pretty cool stuff. I'm excited about it.
The Wedge book is your latest work, and it's doing quite well, and that's what we want to talk about, because we are so much into the short game. That's the difference between breaking 80 or 90 and shooting in the triple digits. No matter how well you can drive and how well you can handle your irons, if you can't chip, you can't putt, you're out o' luck.
It always amazes me at how even a poor golfer by golfer standards can cover 400 yards of a par 4 in 2 swings, and it takes them 4 more to get down from 30 yards. It's always been amazing to me. And so, I got tired of seeing all that on my practice tee all the time, relentlessly. So I thought I'd write a book about it.
Well, the book has been out for a grand total of about a month and a half, 6-7 weeks or so. And I will, full disclosure, I have not read it because nobody sent me a copy. I'm just saying.
Well, I'll remedy that shortly.
But what's happening is, I'm going to have to go into this blind, and that's fine because I've done that on many times. But what is the major problem most of us amateurs face or suffer, or what's the biggest mistake we make?
Yeah, well, I would say that the single biggest error is there's absolutely no plan of attack whatsoever.
Okay.
And here's what I mean. If you've got 145 yards out of the fairway, you're going to look up the green, you're going to look at the water left, you're going to look at the bunker right, you're going to look at the out of bounds long, you're going to take your Sky Caddy or your Bushnell rangefinder, or whatever. You're going to get the yardage, you're going to check the wind, you're going to say, okay, I hit a 9-iron 135 yards, I hit 8-iron 150 yards, I'm going to hit a soft. You're going to make all these choices. Yet when we come to a 25-yard pitch shot, most of us pull the highest lofted golf club in the bag, give no second thought whatsoever to where the golf ball is going to land, how it's going to react when it lands. We simply just try to throw it all the way to the hole and hope it stops.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the extent of what goes into the short game shot. And I'm sure you can appreciate that that's significantly flawed, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's just a few elements missing from that whole approach, yeah.
And so I think if I could sum it up in one sentence, is there is no plan. There is no thought process whatsoever as to the best shot to hit, the highest odds shot to hit, how the golf ball is going to react when it lands, how it's going to roll, how it's not going to roll, so forth and so on.
Right.
And that's really what the book is about, is how to build that plan.
Most of us don't carry 4 wedges. Would you suggest that maybe even for an amateur having the choice of all 4 is important, or is it more important to go to a guy like you and get fitted with the exact lofts that fit our game, our swing, or how would you suggest an amateur approach the gathering of wedges in the bag?
Well, listen, if I didn't need the others, I'd carry 18 wedges. Look, here's the way I look at it. Okay, 70% of the shots you take in a round of golf, whether you shoot 105 or 65, come from less than a full swing. 40% of that 70%, roughly, is usually out of one club, and that's the putter. So that leaves you with about 30% coming from less than a full swing and 30% coming from full swing. Yet somehow we managed to carry 10 golf clubs for 130% and 2 golf clubs for the other 30%.
Makes us look kind of stupid when you put it that way.
Now it's not quite that simple because, golf is played at a certain distance and we have to be able to cover those distances.
Right.
So it's not quite that simple, but you get my point.
I do.
To answer your question, it's a little more complicated than that. And here's what I mean. If you have the skill set, I would want you to have as many wedges as you could carry. I would say in the very beginning stages, you need at least a high lofted club. Now, this is a little different advice than I think what's probably floating around out there. I want a 60-degree lob wedge in your bag as soon as possible. The other one can be somewhere in that mid-range, a 54-degree wedge perhaps, and then you can go right down to a pitching wedge. The better you get, the more wedges I would want you to have. From a fitting standpoint, it's real simple to me. I'm less interested in the exact loss and more interested in the loss being evenly spread. Okay. Meaning that if, hypothetically your pitching wedge has 45 degrees of loft, and you're going to carry 3 additional wedges, 50, 55, and 60 degrees of loft, just makes good sense. It spreads all of them out fairly evenly, and it gives you a good set of tools to take the battle, if you will, that all do different things. From a bounce standpoint, I usually end up putting people in lower to mid bounce wedges. Again, very different than I think common teaching and common advice out there is to go high bounce wedges, and the higher your handicap goes, the higher the bounce goes.
Maybe we could delve a little bit deeper when we come back into that whole concept of bounce, because that's one of the things that amateurs, we look at and we go, I don't understand what that is, so I really don't care. But it's something we should care about, so you need to explain it so everybody can understand it and learn why to care about it. When we come right back, we're talking with Brandon Stooksbury, teaching pro at the Idle Hour Club in Macon, Georgia, and author of The Wedge Book, as of today, bestseller on Amazon. We will be right back with Brandon and you. Hang with us.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobides is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobides for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobides, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobides isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobides now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
Hey, Jeff, I got to come to you, man. I need some help. Out playing golf last weekend, 4 of us, at least 2 of them, outdrove me on a regular occasion.
To pick up your club head speed, I have found these training aids that are just the world's best thing I've ever seen. Super Speed Golf has some training aid sticks, and they've got this beautiful training program that goes with them that you can get online. My clients have picked up a lot of club head speed and a lot of distance in a relatively short period of time. I'm more impressed with this than I am with anything else that I've ever seen on the market to make people swing their club faster. And we all know that's what one of the big factors in producing distance.
That's right. Faster equals longer. That's what I'm looking for, man. Longer.
That's right.
By being faster. Super speed. What's the website? Where do I go?
Superspeedgolf.com. Go to superspeedgolf.com, pick up some of these sticks, go through their training program. It is eye-popping how much distance you'll pick up.
And those weekend golf guys are back. John Ashton here in studio again. Jeff Smith in and out with us. He'll be around in a little bit. Just right now up at the PGA sectional meetings at the French Lick Resort. Those guys know how to party when they do it. But anyhow, with us on the line, Brandon Stooksbury from the Idle Hour Club in Macon, Georgia. Not only a golf instructor par excellence, but a best-selling author with the book, The Wedge Book. And what we're talking about, Brandon, when we left was bounce. What the heck is bounce, and how do we understand it, and why does it mean anything to us?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's interesting you bring it up because I went back and forth when I was writing my book on how much or how little to actually write about bounce because it's difficult to understand. In as simple terms as I can put it, the bounce is the amount that the trailing edge of the sole, meaning the edge that's farthest away from the golf ball when you strike it, sticks down farther than the leading edge of the sole. Bounce measurements are usually now stamped on wedges, not always, but they're getting better about that. I would say a mid-bounce would be anywhere from about 7 to 10 degrees. Anything above 10 I would call high bounce. Now here's why it's important. Bounce is measured with the shaft in a vertical position. Straight up and down, the club might have 10 degrees of bounce, but we don't return the shaft to the golf ball in a vertical position.
No.
Traditionally, we lean it forward. And so what happens is a 10-degree bounce club gets delivered with 2 or 3 degrees of bounce because you lean the shaft forward and take some of the bounce out of that. So here's the problem with that. If you follow the standard advice that floats around out there that a high handicap golfer needs a high bounce wedge, then what you do is you in effect put a club in his or her hand that can only be used in a significant forward shaft leaning position at the moment of impact. I hope that made sense.
It does.
The problem with that is as you lean the shaft forward, it dramatically decreases loft. So imagine you have a club with 10 degrees of bounce. You've got to get that thing down to 2 or 3 degrees of bounce before you can use it. So let's say you put a 56-degree sand wedge in your hand that had 10 degrees of bounce, and by the time you're done leaning it forward, you've got a 47-degree wedge in your hand. That makes short game pretty tough. And so That's why I tend to avoid high bounce wedges, because you lose the capability to deliver as much loft to the golf ball as you get into the higher bounce wedges. Perhaps a little more challenging to learn the skill with the mid-bounce wedge. In other words, there's a lot of protection built into the higher bounce, but it turns you into a one-dimensional short game player.
Right.
So I would rather the player struggle on the front end, learning the technique with a wedge that might be a little tougher, but then they come out on the backside with a lot more versatile tool than the other way around.
Let me ask you a question about spin on the ball itself. Why is it that an amateur can't get a ball to do consistently, to hit and to check, to actually impart the spin to the ball in a wedge shot like they see the guys doing on TV all the time? Is it that we're using cheaper balls, or that we just don't know what we're doing?
It's a little of both, to be perfectly honest with you. The ball will not spin like you see it on TV unless you're using a $5 golf ball.
Okay.
It just won't do it.
All right.
And I just made all the ball manufacturers really happy out there when I said that. But it just won't do it. I mean, if you're playing with golf balls that are $30 a dozen, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that at all, they're not going to spin. The second thing that you mentioned is the technique, and there absolutely are some differences that you see with those guys out there and what most amateurs do. And the difference goes back to that loft. In order to create spin, obviously there are a lot of factors, but the most important of which is speed. You have to be swinging the golf club fast in order to put a lot of spin on the ball. And you say, wait a minute, coach, if I'm only hitting it 35 yards, how in the world am I going to hit it hard? You hit it with more loft.
Okay.
So you can hit faster club head speed, but the ball won't go as far because it's higher lofted. That's how they get that spin on it. It's a combination of the actual RPM of spin on the golf ball and the trajectory at which it's coming into the ground. Those two factors combined are what gives it that one hot kind of grab or stop that you see out on tour. And the last thing I'll say to that is, for the love of Pete, keep your grooves clean. I can't tell you how many lessons I give where I look down and I'm like, I just can't spin it, and there's at least 3 additional swing weights worth of dirt in the groove. And I'm like, well, you haven't hit the metal in a month because there's too much mud on the face, right? And so most people confuse what grooves are actually for. They serve 2 big purposes, and one is to displace stuff that gets between the face of the club and the golf ball. Well, if the grooves are already full of stuff, then there's nowhere for the extra stuff to go. So it gets in the way, which reduces spin. The other thing is that grooves actually grab the golf ball. They cut into the golf ball just a little bit when we strike it, and if there's stuff in the grooves, the ball can't compress into the groove to allow it to grab, and you, again, get a reduction in spin. It sounds elementary, but trust me when I tell you, people's wedges are dirtier than they think.
Yeah. I was going to say, Marky's been looking in your bag, man. Our producer, Marky. He cleans his clubs once a year, whether he needs to or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's amazing how many people say, I need new wedges. No, you just need to clean them.
That spin thing, though, with the $5 golf ball, that's like a 2-edged sword for many amateurs, because your driver's also going to impart more spin on a $5 golf ball than it would on the end.
It's interesting. It's interesting you bring that up. I'm going to cut you off there. I didn't mean to be rude, but that's actually a little bit of an old myth. It used to be that way with the Balata ball, if you can go back before the day of the solid ball. Newer golf balls have technology in them that provides a soft cover, which is what gives you the spin on the wedge. But when you strike a golf ball with a driver, the cover really is insignificant. You get more of that energy transfer out of the inner core of the golf ball. And so technology has now allowed balls to actually do both, to spin less off a driver but more off the face of a wedge. With the same golf ball, it's amazing. It's amazing the changes that have happened since. And I got to give Titleist some props, really, since the day of the Pro V1.
Right.
It hit the market in Las Vegas, actually, in 2001, was when they put that golf ball into play. And it's amazing how that's changed what we do. So I would tell you that there's even more reason there to buy the $5 ball, because it's actually going to go farther off the driver than the cheaper ball will, and spin more off the face of the wedge.
What you can do right now is tell the rest of the members of your foursome guys that they don't have to drop that ball when they think no one's looking on the green anymore. They can use the same ball for the whole hole.
Hey, my dad still does that. I'm like, what do you, the ball he used out of the fairway was yellow, and then it's like pearly white on the green. I said, what happened? Well, I got my putting ball out. What are you talking about?
Miracle.
Putting ball. Hilarious.
The name of the book, The Wedge Book, the author, Brandon Stooksbury, available through Amazon, I would imagine.
Yes, sir. Yep. And
you're going to you're going to need it, especially when you're chipping and putting for a bogey at best. You need to be much better at it than most of us are at the moment, because a chip 30 feet away, and then you're looking at a 20-foot putt. You really haven't accomplished much of anything.
No, not at all. Good luck.
All right, so hopefully we'll get that fixed after a perusal or two of the Wedge Book from Brandon Stooksbury. You can order one now and read it and be better by the next time you hit the course. Brandon, appreciate your time, sir. And
hey, you're welcome, man. I had a ton of fun.
And we'll be talking to you again on down the road. Put you on our list of experts we go to for specific problems. You'll be our wedge guy, man.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Brandon. You have yourself a wonderful day. And you have a wonderful day, too. We will be right back. Don't you move. I think we can find Jeff. He's coming in with another guy he needs to interview, and we're going to give him his space when those weekend golf guys come right back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
Now there's a martini that improves your driving. The new Martini Golf Tee actually gives you longer, straighter drives compared to old-fashioned wood tees. It's virtually unbreakable, made in the USA, and conforms with USGA rules. Get yours today at martinigolftees.com. So improve your driving with a martini. The Martini Golf Tee. Visit martinigolftees.com.
Jeff, you've seen me miss. Good news is I didn't three-putt but one green my last round, but I'm still missing by an inch or two left or right. Man, I need some help. What do you got? Teach me, buddy.
I'll tell you what. The first thing that I do with all my clinics when we're working on putting, I break out the putting stroke teacher every single time. We put this thing on, their forearms are lined up, their putter face is lined up in the same place. It's the straightest putt you'll ever hit. It's unbelievable. And then I'll teach you how to aim after that. But you go get it, the putting stroke teacher, tpsteacher.com. Go get one. Cheap and effective.
I like
Gotta
that.
love it.
Cheap and effective.
You're not kidding. This thing is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
And it's easy to understand?
Absolutely. Strap it onto your putter and go.
Don't need
Real
you
simple.
standing over me to tell me how to use it.
No, you don't want me barking at you anyway.
Open up the box.
tpsteacher.com.
Make it work. tpsteacher.com.
At St. Jude, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
This is Morgan Freeman. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Doesn't always cause symptoms, but it can be prevented. Get screened.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And we're back. This is Jeff Smith for those weekend golf guys. I am at the golf studio at Otter Creek, Plain and Simple Golf School here at in Columbus, Indiana. And I am joined today by Mr. Brad Peterson. Brad is the founder of a cool thing called My Skins Game. Brad, how long has this thing been going on? And tell me about what it is that you're doing and how successful you've been so far with this.
Well, first, Jeff, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Your viewing audience is literally our audience, so I'm excited to be here. My Skins Game has been in my brain now for about 10 years. I had an injury and unfortunately was in the hospital in 2005, so I put everything on the back burner. And so it's actually been going for about 3.5 years now, and last year was our first season of having actually a full season. And so it's kind of really turned into its own kind of beast, if you will, in the last year. And I can kind of go into that if you want about how we started out so small and where we've kind of gone to in the last year.
Yeah, tell me what you built here.
Yeah, so My Skins Game originally was supposed to be a golf tour, and my goal was twofold. I wanted to create an atmosphere for aspiring professionals to not have to chase mini tours and spend $40,000, $50,000 a year playing competitive golf. As you probably know, it's kind of a losing battle for most of them, about 10% break even. I call it paying to practice professional golf. And so,
yeah, that's about right.
But most people don't win any money, and so the cycle is pretty vicious. You borrow money, you get in debt, you play your heart out, you don't make it, you get depressed and you quit. And so,
I wonder what the odds of that are. Like the high percent. What are the percentage of golfers who really have talent
who just never make it, but yet they're out there struggling.
Yeah, Tom Lehman was on the mini tours 13 years before he ended up being number one in the world. It's a grind. It's a tough grind. And so there's traveling. You're away from your family. You can't have a job. You end up in tremendous debt back go to your sponsors. And so I wanted to end that cycle. That was the first goal. And so we wanted to create something to where it was local events, 1 day a week, super affordable, $199, which is what we had last year, which included green fees. And we're talking great courses, TPC San Antonio. I mean, really gorgeous venues.
You were doing this all over the country?
No, this was just in San Antonio last year. So that's where I was based. And so the second half of that equation was I wanted to create an atmosphere where in the same field, we could have golfers, everyday golfers, people who can make birdies but can't shoot in the low 70s or high 60s, and maybe they shoot in the 80s, maybe they shoot in the high 70s, maybe they shoot in the low 90s because they make 3 8s, but they can make 3 or 4 birdies. I want to give them a platform to be able to make money as well playing the game they love, which they've never had an opportunity ever. And so it was a little bit of a reach. I think people thought there's no way this is going to happen. It's only going to be professionals. You're going to fail. You hear it. Pretty much your general negative conversation. So I moved forward anyways because I truly believed in this. And so in the first year in San Antonio, we had about 150 members. We paid out $158,000. We paid out $100,000 at our first annual World Championship. And what was really exciting is that
where'd you get that kind of money?
So we originally we were going to be in 4 cities, and it was going to be $25,000 into the prize pool for the Tour Championship per city. Unfortunately, the company we bought out, which was going to handle Houston and Dallas and Austin, turned out to be a bust. And so I told my backers, either we come up with the money ourselves and commit and honor our commitment, or we're going to lose our company because there's been so many tours that have come, promised things, literally stolen people's money, and then walked away. And I said, we're not going to be those people. I believe if we pay out this money to the Tour Championship, even if it costs us a little bit of money, we're going to have an opportunity to move forward. And so that's what we did. We came out of our pocket. We honored our commitment. Even though we kind of had a bad business deal happen to us, we weren't going to let that affect what we did to our players, because it's always been about players first. And so we paid out the $100,000 as we promised. And what's really exciting is we had over 20 people win skins shooting in the 80s. No strokes, no handicaps. We had 7 people win skins shooting in the 90s. We had a guy win a skin shooting 115 in the same field as a guy shot 71 that same day. No,
and that guy still cashed.
He birdied a par 3 from 220. He hit a 5-wood to 2 feet.
And nobody else did it all day, huh?
Nobody else did it all day. And so that's the great thing about a skins game. And so we took this same concept, obviously, into our Tour Championship with a $100,000 prize pool. $72,000 of that goes to skins. And we really set history, and we made some really amazing history. We had 4 people win skins that day. They were worth $18,000 each. The winners shot 79, 80, 87, and 92. We had a guy shoot 92 and win $18,000. No strokes, no handicap. Same tees as the same guy who won the Tour Championship.
I just saw that. That's Michael Munoz guy.
Michael Munoz shot 92. Yeah. And what's really exciting is
I saw that.
Casey Lim in the same field as Michael, same tee boxes, shot 74, super tough conditions at TPC San Antonio on the Oaks Golf Course, which is one of the toughest on the PGA Tour. Windy day. It was a tough day. He shot 74. He went on and got his status on the web.com card a couple months later. So in the same field with an elite, super elite golfer, Michael shot 92 and won $18,000. And so we really set history and did something that's never been done before. And from that, now we have a deal with the Golf Channel. Our 2016 World Championship will be televised nationally. We have celebrities flocking to our event, which are going to be playing in the same field, playing for that $100,000 alongside our normal golfers. It's really kind of exploded and blossomed into something really.
That's
really
a
big.
great idea. Are you going to be able to expand the territory? Are you going to be able to have regionals in different places?
Oh, that's the most exciting part about moving forward past 2016. So 2016 is going to be a direct buy-in event, only because the TV process has taken up so much time, and so going forward after 2016, we're actually going to have a 3-tiered qualifying process. It's going to start at $59. It's going to be all over the country, and you're going to have a chance to play for up to $500,000 in 2017 for as little as $59 on the level 1 qualifying with celebrities. And it's going to be a blast. So,
wow. How are you getting all this information out to the golfers, to the masses? How are they going to find out?
So we're doing a press release. we're doing a press release with about 100 different organizations, and then obviously we're going to be marketing on the Golf Channel. Golf Channel is going to be doing promotion before our national event, and then obviously the nationally televised event is really where we're going to probably really first be known to the masses rather than kind of general groups of people. And so we're excited. That we film in April, we televise next May or June, and that's when we get ready to explode for 2017. So,
well, it sounds to me like you're going to need a bunch of different golf courses, in different parts of the country, to jump on board to actually host an event.
Right, and what's really exciting is that the way I've created the platform is the golf courses can actually partner with us at no cost, no risk, and they actually can create a revenue system for their golf course. And the golf course is struggling. Golf is struggling around the world. The Tiger effect is kind of fallen down a little bit. And so if we can help golf courses create revenue and be a part of our exciting event and bring their golfers to have a chance to play with celebrities in a nationally televised event and have a legitimate chance to win money, shooting in the 90s and win $20,000, $30,000, that's exciting for us.
I think that's exciting for the normal guy who thinks he can't never play in some event because, everybody else is too good and I'll never be able to catch those guys. But yet, if you give him a shot at winning something in the event, that's terrific. So what you've got to have is you've got to have an appeal to the everyday guy.
Right.
And that's pretty important. So, what we'll do, hey, I want to have you stick around. If you got a few more minutes,
that'd be great.
I want to have you stick around because I'd love to get into this a little bit more with you, a little bit in our next segment. So
I appreciate that.
Tell you what, I want to make sure that everybody hears this. This is Those Weekend Golf Guys. Check us out on the web. ThoseWeekendGolfGuys.com, Facebook.com/Golf Guys.
So we've added a blog to the website because we get a lot of golf news. And on our current website, there's not a whole lot of places to put it. And to be perfectly honest with you, the golf news is not the kind of thing, it's not, this just in.
Right,
a
ticker.
Yeah.
The electronic ticker.
But a lot of interesting stuff happens in the golf business every week. So we've been looking for a place to do it. So we're just going to have a blog. You can just go and you can say, okay, this happened, that happened, that happened. And if you want to read the story for something to really interest you, the whole story will be there. And if not, then just move on to the next one. ThoseWeekendGolfGuys.com. There'll be a new tab up there that you haven't noticed before that says BLOG blog.
Make sure you check out our app. We've got a free app for Android. We got a free app for iOS. So everybody go out there, check us out, find us on the airways. You can listen to our recorded shows. Everything's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some more of this conversation, and we will be right back.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-4030. That's 1-800-616-4030. Again, 1-800-616-4030. Call now.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Hey, Jeff, I got to come to you, man. I need some help. out playing golf last weekend. 4 of us, at least 2 of them, outdrove me on a regular occasion.
To pick up your club head speed, I have found these training aids that are just the world's best thing I've ever seen. Super Speed Golf has some training aid sticks, and they've got this beautiful training program that goes with them that you can get online. My clients have picked up a lot of club head speed and a lot of distance in a relatively short period of time. I'm more impressed with this than I am with anything else that I've ever seen on the market to make people swing their club faster. And we all know that's what, one of the big factors in producing distance.
That's right. Faster equals longer. That's what I'm looking for, man. Longer.
That's right.
By being faster. Super Speed. What's the website? Where do I go?
Superspeedgolf.com. Go to superspeedgolf.com, pick up some of these sticks, go through their training program. It is eye-popping how much distance you'll pick up.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobetes, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobetes isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobetes now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
And we're back. No more waiting. Here we are again. Jeff Smith in the Golf Cave at Otter Creek at Plain and Simple Golf School in Columbus, Indiana. But I have been talking to Brad Peterson. And Brad is the head honcho, the main man at myskinsgame.com. And he has been telling us what a cool program he has come up with to have a tournament that any level of player can get into and that any level of player has a chance at making money in that event. What a great deal. Brad,
thanks, Jeff.
Keep talking to me about how you're going to get courses all over the country to buy into this, because sure, the golf courses, they're there. They want players, they want events, they want to make some money.
Right.
Well, if you can create some interest, you got to have some people in the Midwest, you got to have some Northeast. There's golfers all over this country.
Right.
They're listening to this show. So, the best part about that is if you can throw out some areas where you're going to have some events, these people are going to join in, because, man, if they can pay a few $100 or whatever, how much are some of these events to get into anyway?
Yeah. So moving forward past the 2016 event, we will begin our 3-tier qualifying process: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 2, Tier 3. And so Tier 1 is going to be a $59 qualifier. It's going to be 9 holes, and it's going to be truly probably the most unique way in history to get to a world championship type of event, which is what we have now, because I have a partner in France, and they have taken over the indoor qualifying process. We're going to have 20 people from all around the world who are going to be qualifying on indoor simulators, playing the exact golf course where we're going to hold our world championship, which is Desert Willow in Palm Desert, California. It's beautiful, one of the nicest public courses you'll ever see.
What a great idea to have this qualifying indoors on simulators, because there's so many places in the country today, right now. If you're in the Midwest or in the North, if you're north of the Mason-Dixon line, the odds of you being outside playing golf are slim, because the daylight's getting short. But you might head into some of those places that have good simulators. Some of them, you probably have to qualify the simulators, don't you? As in which ones you'll say are accurate enough.
Right. So we're working on finalizing our partnership with, I can't say the name of the simulator, but it's phenomenal. And so once that's done, we will only use their simulators, because they're going to have an exclusive agreement. And as far as the standard qualifying on an actual golf course, they're going to have a full year to qualify. So they'll be able to find some weather, even if they can't get inside, to qualify. And we're going to have golf courses. Our goal is to partner with over 1,000 golf courses. I have an amazing team that has already been calling, starting 2 months ago, we already started calling and partnering with golf courses. So once we our World Championship is aired on the Golf Channel in next summer, the end of May, early June. Those qualifiers will begin, and you'll have a year to get ready and to qualify for the 2017 event. And so the 2017 event is going to be just as spectacular, except it's going to have more celebrities and it's going to have a bigger prize pool. We're talking $250,000 minimum for 2017. It's going to be more likely $500,000. And so we're talking a skin where someone can come in, shoot 85, birdie the right hole, and possibly win $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 for one great swing. And what's really neat is that I want to go into really quick. I created a one-of-a-kind playoff system. And so you can imagine on a full field, Jeff, 156 golfers, how hard it would be to win a skin.
Yeah, right.
So you'd need a double eagle, a hole-in-one, something crazy.
Something magical, yeah.
What we've created is a system of, depending on how large the field is, up to X number of golfers. In this case, at the World Championship, it's a full field, 156 golfers. Up to 5 people can tie on any given hole. And they're going to go into a sudden death playoff the next day for that hole's skin. And so this creates tremendous excitement, tremendous fairness. And so on hole number 1, it's a tough par 4. 4 people birdie it, and that's it. Well, those 4 people coming back the next day, sudden death playoff for $30,000 on the line. It doesn't matter if they shot 100. It doesn't matter what they shot that day. And so it's really neat, and that's going to be the bulk of our television is those playoffs, because that's going to be so exciting for everyone to watch and root for. And we're going to have aspiring pros, actors, farmers, all in the same playoff. And so who are you rooting for? You're probably rooting for the farmer.
Yeah, that's right.
Or maybe your favorite celebrity, because they've never had a chance to win money playing golf. And so it's exciting.
Wow, that's a great idea. That really is, because you've essentially created a match play thing worth watching. Somebody's going to come up with a great shot, and they're going to win money because of it.
And something that every golfer can relate to. You know what? Gosh, I shoot 83 all the time, but I make 3 birdies. I can't shoot in the 60s, but I can make some birdies. That is the appeal, And Michael Muniz, he made 5 birdies when he shot 92 that day,
Yeah.
And one of them was worth $18,000. So he doesn't care that he shot 92. He won $18,000 for
right.
one.
You're in a birdies or nothing game. Every time you go out and play. So that's pretty exciting.
It is. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we do pay out 28% of our purse to low gross. And so we do reward great golf as well. We want to reward both sides. And so, but we are a skins game tour, so the majority goes to skins because we want everyone to have a chance. But we don't want to discount if someone shoots 65 and doesn't win a skin. We want them to be able to be rewarded as well. So.
I think that's terrific.
Well, thank you.
So you've got this great thing going. Boy, I wish you an awful lot of luck. MySkinsGame.com. Everybody check it out on the web. I'm looking at their website right now, and they're showing all the success. They're showing how it all works. Everything's on there. You can get tickets. You can get involved. You can hold your spot in a tournament. You can do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's right. Everybody check out MySkinsGame.com.
Oh, man, I didn't get here in time for Brad, man. You let him go already. That is such a cool idea.
Yeah,
Such
it was
a cool
fun.
idea.
I know. I can't believe that you can just jump on there and go to a skins game.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about all the ways that you always play with all your buddies, and you're out of it one hole, and then you have this great hole out of nowhere. Skins game, what a great way to play.
And doing it, match play, and also as an amateur who is getting more confident. Confidence comes with actually being able to see the results of listening to golf gurus like yourself.
Yeah.
And getting their head fixed with Dr. Gary and things like that. I'd jump at the chance to spend $59 to get on, and even if I didn't have a chance to win anything, just to compete, just to say I was there competing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To sit there and go, man, I was in this tournament.
Yeah.
It only cost me $59, and yet I could win some serious cash effectively with one great shot.
Yeah.
It's not like a hole-in-one contest, but it kind of sort of is, right?
Yeah.
You throw it out there, you're playing in the field, and then all of a sudden you throw 1-2 inches from the cup. Nobody else does all day.
Yeah.
And bang, you got yourself the eagle, or you got yourself the birdie, and nobody else did it all day. You're pulling in some cash.
Yeah, you just need one good shot, man. And that's not, even out of taking 90 on average, one good one's not out of the question.
You know what? And I don't know a single guy who would do something like this who would really care if, in fact, that made him a professional golfer at that point. Somebody who wins that kind of cash, they don't care.
No, no, not at all.
They give the USGA they'll give them the one finger salute and so move on.
Yeah, USGA. I really don't care what you say.
Yeah,
I really don't care.
That's right. It doesn't matter. I'm going to continue to call myself an amateur and whatever.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, it's there are so many hoops that the governing bodies want you to jump through. It's like, yeah, govern this right here, you know.
Oh man!
Although you're going to be happy too, because something that you say, but you try to couch it so that you don't look like you're coming across as an elitist golfer. But earlier in the program, when you were at the PGA meetings and weren't able to listen intently, we had fellow from down in Macon who's written a book called The Wedge Book.
Yeah,
which is a very good book, and now an Amazon bestseller, and the brother-in-law of a friend of mine here in Louisville who's a TV anchor woman. But I digress again.
Well, it's okay. We do it so well.
Because I basically asked him about, spin, because he was talking about the bounce numbers on wedges, which confuses all of us amateurs.
It does.
And then he was saying that a lower bounce number is better because you're going to probably de-loft the club a little bit anyhow, so you want it to work the same way it always works, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not quite sure I understood, but if I listen to it a few more times, it'll probably make sense. But bottom line is he came down and said that in order to get the spin, not only do you need the club to be the right club, not only do you need the grooves on the club to be clean, but
always a help.
Yes, but you need a $5 ball. He said, sorry to tell you otherwise, but if you don't get the high quality, the Pro V1s, the B330 and Bridgestones, yep, exactly, that it ain't going to work.
Right.
But he did point out, as you have on multiple occasions, that the new balls, the new high-end balls, don't take away anything off the tee.
No, they do not.
So you're not going to have to worry about getting extra spin off of a tee shot because it's the core that works coming off the face of the driver.
On the full swing shots, yeah.
Right.
Because you're compressing a whole lot more of the golf ball.
Right.
And on those short shots, the putts and the chips and the pitches, you're not compressing the entire ball. It's just the cover.
Right.
And so they'll spin more. So you got to go with some of those high spin, soft cover golf balls where you're just not going to spin much of anything compared to how you'll spin, the $5 ball.
So I'm going to get a dozen $5 balls. Hopefully I can get them at a discount. And,
the best part is since you've stopped losing so many golf balls, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Your game gets better because of that. So that way your short game's better, your wedge game especially on those half to three-quarter wedge shots that people seem to leave themselves with all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right, so that's kind of been our whole crux of our show today. Hope you got it. This is wedges and playing for money. And if you can have a much better wedge game, your chances of winning money when you're playing for money increase substantially. So hope it helped. And next week we'll help with something else because that's what we do. We are Those Weekend Golf Guys at thoseweekendgolfguys.com, at facebook.com/golfguys, at WKND Golf Guys on Twitter. And, of course, our free apps available in the Android and the Apple stores. Download them, listen, pay attention, and go play some golf. We will be right back here next week. Have a great week, man. Bye.